What is going on, everyone? Welcome to our Tuesday, May 21st edition. Going to look at some of these NBA and NHL playoffs that are still going on as we look ahead at these conference finals. I know in the NBA, we're going to get started tonight with the Pacers and the Celtics for game one up there in Boston as well. So we will start there. Give me 1 second to get these series odds pulled up for that. Obviously, like we said, the Celtics taking on the Pacers. Pacers are obviously the underdog in this series. A lot of people are counting them out. I think the Pacers are going to be competitive. I know they're a 9.5 point underdog in this series, or in game one to start out this series. I like Boston to get a win here, but I think the Pacers' offense, I think their ability to get up and down the floor, I think they're able to hang with this Celtics team, and the fact that the Celtics haven't really been in any clutch moments in these playoffs. I think that will show more than one time this series. I just think I'm trying to find the series price here. I can't get it to pull up. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find the like yeah, it had it for the Timberwolves, and I can't seem to find it for this Pacers shit. Maybe it's because it's about to start. Let me see. Yeah, it's probably because it's about to start. Oh wait, more NBA. Here we go. Here we go. I'm back on. I'm looking at FanDuel right now. Let's see. Okay, series price: Celtics minus 1,100 and the Pacers at plus 700. I actually do think there's value in the Pacers to win this series. If they can steal one in Boston, they're a very good team on their home floor. I like the Pacers to possibly win game two, go back to Indiana and win game three to actually have a series lead at some point in this series. So definitely could get some value there. And then obviously hedge your way out if you want to take the Celtics. Celtics will maybe be a plus 110. Who knows at what point that'll be going in this series. But I do have the Celtics to pull this out in 7 games. I think the Pacers are going to be competitive. I think it's going to be a really good Eastern Conference final. I think the Pacers obviously they had an easier route, I guess you could say, going up against a banged up Milwaukee Bucks team, going up against a banged up New York Knicks team. Obviously, everyone wanted to see Boston, New York in this spot for the Knicks and the Celtics, but Pacers are a very young team. We get to see Tyrese Halliburton in an Eastern Conference Finals before a whole list of players. So, I mean, major props to this Pacers team. They win the in-season, or they get to the in-season tournament. They fought hard and all that. They're going to go on a run here in these Eastern Conference Finals. A 10-point underdog tonight. I do like the Pacers to cover. I'm on the over 222.5. I rarely touch over-unders in basketball. I think the Celtics will start slow in this game, meaning defensively, and let the Pacers do what they want to do, get to their gameplay, keep scoring a lot of offense, a lot of points, a lot of three-pointers to start. I like the Pacers to jump out fast and often. So I like the over 222.5 in this game for game one tonight. But I do, like I said, I like the Celtics to win this series in 7 games. I think this is going to be a dogfight. I do think this one point the Pacers will have a series lead 2-1. Celtics would obviously, I think, win game 4, 5. Pacers win game 6. Celtics win game 7 on their home floor. I like the Celtics to advance to the NBA Finals, but it's going to be tough. I think this Pacers team, I'm giving them a lot more credit than most people. I think this is going to be a great series. Obviously, anytime you see a 10-point favorite in the Eastern Conference Finals, you're thinking sweep, sweep. A lot of people are saying that. I don't see that in this situation. I think this Pacers team is very good. But we'll move over to the West, where my future is still pending with the Minnesota Timberwolves at plus 700 to win the Western Conference. They open up as a minus 185 favorite to win this series and move on to the NBA Finals. Definitely love that on my end. Obviously, I could get Dallas at plus 142. I see Minnesota actually at minus 168 on the series betting odds on FanDuel here. So Mavericks are the series underdog. Games 1 and 2 in Minnesota. We'll get started tomorrow night where game 1, the Wolves are a 4-point favorite, minus 176 on the money line, over under at 207. I think this Timberwolves team is going to jump out fast, just like they did in that Denver series. I think they will win this game 1. I like them minus the 4 points. I think by tip off, you will see this at maybe a 5, 5.5. I would try to get this now if you can on the Timberwolves minus the 4. I'm probably not going to be betting much on this series just because I do already have the future going. And obviously, if you win twice. But obviously, if it loses, I'd rather just ride this future at this point. Maybe we'll touch game 1 because I do really think they start out fast. But looking for the Timberwolves to win this series. minus 185. I love that price, and I think that's actually some fair value. This is the hottest team in the NBA. They just took down the defending champion Denver Nuggets. I like Minnesota to move on. I think it will be in 6 games, maybe 5. I think if Luka doesn't get his act together, he hasn't been playing his best basketball. Kyrie Irving's been playing very well, but that duo of Luka, we know what PJ Washington has done these playoffs. He's been there, basically best player. I mean, arguably you could say. We know Luka's had some crazy performances throughout the season, but PJ Washington has really stepped up as a major trade deadline addition for that team. He's having some major moments in the playoffs here. I like the Timberwolves in game 1 and game 2. I think they go back to Dallas with a 2-0 series lead. I think Dallas wins game 3. Minnesota wins game 4. I think it's going to be a decisive game 5 with a 3-1 lead for Minnesota going back to game 5. It's going to be tough to win that game because obviously Dallas, they don't have much. Neither of these teams have experience in this spot. Obviously, Western Conference Finals. I think Dallas got there a few years ago. Luka's obviously been in the playoffs. This Timberwolves teams, they've been losing early the past few years. I just think that this Timberwolves team, they have a different kind of aura about them, and I think that defense will lead them on to an NBA Finals berth. It's obviously what I'm rooting for, and I think Minnesota is going to beat Boston in the finals. I think if you want to get some good value on that, you definitely can jump on a future right now. I know the Celtics are so heavily favored; they're minus 150 to win the finals. You can get the Timberwolves still at plus 270 if you want to jump on that. But you obviously are hoping they get through Boston because I think most people like Boston to get out of this series. But I mean, the Pacers, they're going to give them a run for their money. Not many people are thinking that. I like Minnesota to move out to honestly bring home the Larry O'Brien this year. I like that plus 270. You sure you could get plus 300, shop that around wherever you want to look. But if you think it's going to be, I mean, people were thinking it's a Celtics versus Timberwolves final. I see it on FanDuel right here. The exact matchup doesn't matter who wins, but Celtics and Timberwolves both to win their series minus 145. I don't love that value as much. I think there's crazy value in the Pacers to get out of this Eastern Conference Finals. It's going to be very tough, but I think that series does go 7, and I think Minnesota advances in 6. And I like Minnesota to win the NBA Finals at plus 270. So we'll jump over to the NHL. We have the NHL Eastern Conference Finals getting started tomorrow night, with the Western Conference Finals getting started on Thursday, as we had Edmonton advance last night in a late game 7 against Vancouver. Edmonton jumps out to a 3-0 lead. Vancouver comes back, makes it 3-2. It looks like they're going to tie the game. Is this going to be another year that Edmonton blows it in the playoffs? They were able to hold on. 3-2 win. Oilers advance. There's going to be game 1 in Dallas on Thursday. We'll get into Mackey's New York Rangers first, going up against the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers at the New York Rangers, like I said. Rangers are a minus 110. It's a pick. I'm actually minus 110 both ways on FanDuel here, but I'm trying to look around, see if I feel like I saw the Rangers at underdogs earlier. Let me see, where was I looking at that at? Yeah, on MGM. Rangers at the minus 105 on the money line. Panthers at minus 115. Over under at 5.5, with the under being favored at minus 115. I'm gonna take the Rangers in this spot, just like I did in the last series. I think they jump out to a series lead at home. They did it against the Carolina Hurricanes. I think that Hurricanes team is very good. I think this Panthers team is also very good. I don't know who I'm leaning on to win this series. It's going to be a very game-by-game basis. But I like the Rangers to jump out to a series lead, win game 1. If I had to pick a side, I would lean with the Rangers to move on to the Cup final. I just think Shesterkin, I think that this team truly does look like they're gearing up for Stanley Cup run. I do think Dallas is a very good team out west, or Edmonton, but I like the Rangers to advance out of the series. Not my most common, or not my most confident pick, I guess you would say. But we can look at the Western Conference, like I said, where the Oilers are heading to Dallas on Thursday night. Stars are a minus 130 favorite in game 1 on home ice. Oilers plus 110 on the money line, over under at 6, with a minus 110 going both ways there. I like Dallas also to jump out to a series 1-0 lead. I think Dallas is the better team in this series. I'm going to take Edmonton to win this series. I don't know the series price on it. I did pick Edmonton to advance to this Cup final. I think it's going to be the Rangers versus the Oilers. Not my most confident pick. It very easily could be Dallas versus Florida. So don't bet this. Hockey is the hardest thing to call this late in the season. I'm rooting for. I'd like to see maybe I'd like to see Oilers Rangers. That'd be cool. But I don't want to see McDavid win a cup personally. That's just me. He's a great player. Don't want to see him win a cup. But I like the Oilers to win this series. I think Dallas wins game one, so maybe wait and you can get some better value on the Oilers if they're down 1-0 in the series. But I think the Oilers win game two, win game three, have a series lead, go into game four, could possibly win that game and have a 3-1 lead going back to Dallas. I could see Dallas defend home ice and the Oilers win the series in six. Dallas loves to blow playoff berths, like huge ones. Obviously, they just knocked out Vegas. They just knocked out Colorado. Now they get the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Conference Finals. It's looking like they could get back to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time in a long time. Actually, no, they played the Lightning a few years ago. I was thinking back to like the 90s, but yeah, or the early 2000s. But yeah, I like the Stars in game one at the -130. I like the Oilers to win the series at in the 6 games. Don't know the series price on it, so let's take a look here at some of these futures for the NHL. We can bounce to the Cup final. Obviously, the Panthers are favorited to win both the Eastern Conference and the Stanley Cup final. For the Panthers at +230, the Stars at +240, the Oilers at +280, and the Rangers at +350. And I did see today you can get the Rangers at +400 on DraftKings. So that's crazy price for the President's Cup Trophy team that has home ice in the Eastern Conference Finals. And would have home ice if they did advance to the Stanley Cup over Dallas or Edmonton. So I think that's a huge swing for the Rangers. I think it's kind of shocking to see them that low in these standings, especially below the Oilers. I can't believe people are higher, or Vegas is higher on these Oilers than they are the New York Rangers. I don't know if they're waiting on the President's Cup or the President's Cup Trophy curse, or what they're waiting on for it to happen with this Rangers team. I know they didn't look that great against Carolina last series. I just think that they're the better team. Florida, obviously getting there last year, they got to a cup final. They lost to Vegas. That was a hard-fought series. The Panthers are built for the playoffs, so I very well could see the Panthers win this series. It's gonna. These are two of the hardest series to call. Dallas and Edmonton's obviously two a little bit more different play styles. But the Panthers, Rangers, they're just going to try to score. I like this Panthers team a lot. I'm rooting for them, but I think the Rangers get the job done on home ice. I think if every home team wins the series or wins in this series, Rangers would win it in 7. So I think that's the easy answer out here. But give me the Rangers. I think the Rangers could close out this Stanley Cup at the +400. That's the craziest value I've ever seen for how close 4 teams are. But the thing that sucks is I would go with the Panthers if I wasn't betting on the Rangers. So I think either team out of the East is going to win the Cup. So whichever one you want to go there, you could sprinkle both, make some value either way, as long as Dallas or Edmonton doesn't bring it home. But yeah, I do like the Rangers. I think the Shesterkin, I think the defense, I think the home ice advantage at Madison Square Garden is huge. I just like them to win this series. Like I said, if Florida wins it, I like them to win the Cup. Whoever comes out of the East, that's who I'm pulling for. But it's going to be a great game. Obviously, like I said, game 1 for Dallas is Thursday. Game 1 for the New York Rangers tomorrow. I lean on the Rangers in game 1. I lean on the Dallas Stars in game 1. And then back over quickly to the NBA. We have the Celtics getting underway right now as a 9.5 point favorite. They just closed that. The over/under still at that over/under 222.5, where I like that over 222.5 in the Celtics game. Minnesota -4 in game 1 in the Western Conference Finals. That will be tomorrow night at 8:30 on TNT. But other than that, let me see if there's any good baseball on tonight that didn't already start. I really haven't been betting baseball too much, been more just fantasy. Pirates are losing 4-1. That's always good. Let's see. Yeah, most of these games already started. I'm glad I didn't bet baseball tonight. I would be doing pretty poorly. I like the Yankees. They're down 2-0. I did like the Braves. They're up 2-0. Let's see. Orioles, they're down. And the Astros are down. Nice. So might have to jump on the Astros right now. If anyone listening out there looking for a baseball bet, down 2-0 in the first inning. Astros are -200 to win this game. I like them at the -110 right now live. Might jump on that. But other than that, thanks for listening. Make sure you guys are staying tuned to all the social medias. Get some plays out. It's been a little bit slow of a week, as like we said, some of these NBA and NHL playoff games are so hard to call. It's so hard to get either way. Either any of these teams can win these games. But baseball plays, obviously, other things going out. So make sure you're staying tuned to the social medias. We'll keep getting plays out there. We'll keep getting content out there. Make sure you're staying tuned to the podcast. Going to have a big guest on this week, so make sure you're staying tuned for that. Shout him out on social media. Make sure you give him a follow. We appreciate him coming on. Other than that, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys for the podcast tomorrow night.